Tom Fitton fires a shot that has the walls of Mueller's witch hunt caving in, by US4Trump.com. Tom Fitton, America's watchdog, has weighed in on the hot topic of the newly released Strzok Page anti-Trump texts. The president of Judicial Watch joined Harris Faulkner in an explosive interview. Fitton calls it like he sees it. If anyone can see the whole picture, it would be Tom Fitton. Judicial Watch and its team are responsible for the Freedom of Information Act lawsuits. They have received the mountains of information needed to piece this tale of government overreach together. Furthermore, they brought it to the American people along with Congress. The politicization of the DOJ and FBI and FISA abuse scandal occurred during the Obama era. Fitton reviewed what happened. He tells us how the FISA court was used in order to obtain a warrant to spy on American citizen Carter Page. Specifically, Fitton tells America exactly what he thinks needs to be done. Fitton told Harris Faulkner of Fox News, frankly, we need to hold Mr. Mueller accountable for what went on here because these are the cops that made Mueller's case. And without Strzok and Page, without this illicit activity related to the DNC dossier, without the illegal targeting of Carter Page, Fitton made a list and continued. Additionally, he said, in my view, we wouldn't have the Mueller investigation. And so any other prosecution marred by this misconduct by the investigators would be shut down. Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch here, Tom Fitton on new Strzok Page text, corrupted Mueller probe needs to be shut down. Let's click here to watch the video.
I'm going to bring in now Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, always on top of these things. So the question is, which side is right? What do the text messages really show? And you've studied this, and what do you see?
Well, you know, Strzok's lawyer's position is, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? A media leak strategy is just what it says. An insurance policy is just what it says. When Strzok writes, we're going to stop President Trump, everyone knows what that means. And his arguments that they don't mean what they say just doesn't hold water. In fact, that's one reason that Mr. Strzok is no longer with the FBI. He's been fired.
You know, Tom, I've long wanted to ask you this question. It matters for everybody if we get the information on this, because this could be either or any political party dealing with having a candidate moving forward and an apparent bias movement inside of an agency or organization. So my question is, if they felt so confident to do these things that they're being accused of, Strzok and Page, it couldn't have just begun, right? Are they practiced in a more wider culture, if you will, that allows it to happen? What do we know?
Well, this goes back to Comey's leadership and in many ways Mueller's leadership before that, where you know, we've been litigating against Harris, the FBI, for 20 plus years at Judicial Watch. And one thing that's always been consistent is arrogance, illegal secrecy, and contempt for the rule of law. They think they're not accountable, and at the leadership level especially, they just have complete contempt for anyone outside the agency or within the agency that attempts to tell them to maybe follow the rules and do what's right. And in this case, you're exactly right. You had the leadership of the FBI who thought they could get away with illegally targeting a candidate for the President of the United States. And McCabe's been fired, Comey's been fired, Mr. Strzok's been fired. And, frankly, what I think needs to be done is we need to hold Mr. Mueller accountable for what went on here, because these are the cops that made Mueller's case. And without Strzok, without Page, without this illicit activity related to the DNC dossier, without the illegal targeting of Carter Page, in my view, you wouldn't have a Mueller investigation. And so any other prosecution marred by this misconduct by the investigators would be shut down. And I don't understand why Congress doesn't take more of a leadership role here. Certainly the president is highlighting Mueller's corruption or the corruption of the special counsel investigation. And someone's got to call what's going on here for what's actually happening is that you've got this corrupted Mueller investigation as a result of this misconduct during the Obama administration into the Trump administration.
Tom, what do you do with the FBI, though? Because the person appointed at the top, Christopher Wray, was appointed by this particular president. I mean, and then you have this president kind of watching. I saw him retweet Lou Dobbs saying that, you know, you may as well have Eric Holder at the top of the DOJ. There has been so little done with regard to this.
Well, I think this is why the Mueller investigation needs to be shut down so the president can provide the proper oversight.
Do you really think that'll happen?
I think it needs to happen. Whether it will happen, I don't know, but it needs to happen. The problem here is that the FBI is covering up for Mueller in holding back these texts, holding back information, the Justice Department holding back information, for instance, on what Orr is up to. You know, we're suing for page-struck materials. The FBI is telling us we won't get them all until at least 2020. We have Orr materials, 1,600 pages of records. They want to take, the Justice Department does, up to 6 months to turn them over. Now, President Trump can come in and order them to turn it over quickly, and of course the left would erupt and the establishment would erupt for him trying to get the rule of law enforced.
Right?
Well, that's why I think he needs to do it. And in the least, he should declassify the rest of those FISA warrants that were behind this targeting of Donald Trump. It's not about Carter Page. It was about the targeting of Donald Trump. And anything in those FISA warrants that highlight the corruption in that illicit spying needs to be exposed by direct presidential action.
Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch will bring you back. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I agree that the Mueller witch hunt should be shut down. Absolutely. You know, I mean, you can't have them running rampant, and they're already aggravated. The liberals are aggravated. The Democrats, or whatever you want to call them. So get to the bottom of this. Let the cards fall where they may. Because Mueller should be held accountable, because he knows it's all based on phony information, and yet he still continued to press forward and costing the taxpayers millions for nothing. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.